Yeah, okay. So, from M2 method, how can I access the global variable str? Do you want to see the output? So we need to access with an object of class name system td equal to system here td dot td dot got it 11 from M1 method. Hello. What happens with the M2? So because there is an ambiguity issue with the local variable and global variable from with only the one M2 method, but not with M1. Okay, we don't have any issues with them. The only issue is with the M2. Now, how to avoid this ambiguity problem is just by taking the M2 global variable. Okay, so let's say display this value. I can just perform using a this keyword. This dot I can access this str. Okay, this means actually it refers to the current class object. Refers to the current class object. What is the current class? This demo class. For this class, internally it will create an object. So we can avoid the ambiguity problem by creating object over here also. Let me create new this demo. Okay, like this also you can do that. Just by creating object, using an object you can call this property. Okay, because we can access only the global properties with the object, but not the local properties. Okay, so we can avoid like this. See, from M2 global you'll be getting the value hello. So what we have declared in the global. Okay, so instead of going like this by creating an object and everything, just use this keyword. Internally the JVM creates object. You are not creating. Okay, the JVM 4 part will create an object to this class and gets you the property which are stored in the global environment. Okay, like in the class. Which variable it is? This str. So that's why you're getting a value hello from here. Okay, so this refers to the local. Local. This refers to the global environment. Okay, understood this problem? See, so without this keyword also you can get able to get the global values. Okay, so not only the one variable, you can access any global variable using the this keyword. Okay. Global double variable. This dot d. Also, I can use this dot d. But what is the need of using this keyword for double variable d? Do you have any ambiguity issues over here with this method M2? I don't have any ambiguity issue with the variable d. Okay, but only problem with the str. Okay, the str was already repeated here. Okay, so that's why I would like to give this keyword to this global variable. Okay, and if you just give the variable name, that will refer to the local, right? So without this keyword also you can directly display the d. You'll be getting the same value 3.14 and everything, right? Having this keyword also you can get access to this. See. But what is the need here? Okay, we don't have any ambiguity issues. What's the need of using this keyword? So you can no need to use that. So this is also refers to global. Okay, understood? Any issues? Manpreet, do you understood or if you have any issues? Okay, okay. So I said any issues. We texted answer. Okay, no issues. Rakesh? Okay. Praveen? Got it? Good.
Again?
Saurabh? Yeah, Saurabh.
Yeah, in the first method M1, you created str1.
Yes.
But if I create str in here as well, it will create ambiguity. Like you created string str1 equal to the word,
Yes, yes.
and
But
then
I'm not.
it says
I'm
how
not.
do you.
Yes, yes. I just created this variable. Okay. So just show you that when to access.
So if I create a string str here, then again I have to use this.
Yeah, if you have the same
Right.
str in M1.
Okay.
Okay, at the time if you would like to access the global variable str, then you have to use the disk.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just created it for sample. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now let's go with the variable arguments. See guys, this keyword is very important. Okay. We're getting more questions. Definitely have to place at least one question on this keyword. Okay. Let's go with this. First of all, let me show you that what is the need of this variable argument. Yes, I just created a method, right? Yes, done. Let me call add method. New, sorry, new variable args add arg. Yes. Now I need if I would like to call the add method, how many parameters I need to send? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 100, 200, 300, and 400. Okay, isn't it guys? So now this add method is trying to display some value. Okay, it's trying to return some value, integer value. So you need to display that result with a print statement because the add method don't have any printing statement. It's trying to return you the value, not trying to display the value. Get it? You can display that value by catching that value to another variable, or else directly you can go with the printing statement. Okay, you can store this return type in another variable by creating a new local variable from here. Okay, so result equal to, you can just copy and paste this. Okay, you can also display args. Okay. Are you getting what is this? This is an object. Okay, so actually I have only one method. That's why I'm going like this. If I have multiple methods in a class where I need to access all the methods, I will be creating a reference variable for this object. Okay, so like variable args v a some, okay, some object name equal to, okay. I'll be doing like this. So this is the shorthand way of creating an object. But when if you would like to go for multiple method calling within the same class, you are not suggested to go like this, because the new creates every new object every time. How many times you use the new keyword, it will be creating that many of objects. Okay, it's not good approach. By having single object, you can access multiple methods of a class. Yes. Okay, so fine, successful. I'm getting the value 1000. So what happens if I would like to pass the fifth parameter? I'd like to go for the fifth parameter. Do I need to change the source code? Yeah, exactly right. I need to change the method implementation. Of course. Okay, done. Happy. Again, I would like to go for the 3. Okay, 3. 3 parameters. Again, I need to change the method implementation. Okay, when if we have the situation like this in Java programming, you have the provision of variable where variable length parameters. Okay, I told you the string. You can also have the arguments like in variable format, like this in Java. Actually, this technique was introduced from the version Java 1.5. Okay, so let me show you this technique with the user definition. Okay, see what type of values you are passing? Integer values. Fine. Values. Okay, values. What happens if I give variable arguments to this? Yeah. Now the error has resolved. You observe that you don't have any issues with the line number 13. Yes. Just wait, I'll tell you. Now, so the variable argument means, so there is no fixed size of variable. You need not to worry about the size of variables. Okay, size of parameters. Okay, size of parameters. So whatever it may be the size. The single method will serve you for different size of parameters. That is what called variable parameters, variable arguments. Okay. So one time you can send 3 parameters, another time you can send 4 parameters, some other time you can send 5 parameters. That's your wish. Okay. So I will not. I'm getting some disturbance. Okay. So fine. Now the question is here, when this is the case, how to calculate all the values? Actually, it's like an array. Okay, in Java there is a different loop called for each loop. For each loop. Okay. Don't worry. Okay, I'm going to show the result. This is a for each loop actually in v colon values. Okay, so every time I can add this value v to the res. Okay, res equal to res plus v. So what is this for each loop means? For each loop automatically get incremented without any condition checking. So this would be very helpful for going for the arrays which you don't know the size of an array. If you don't know the size of an array, it's better to go with the for each loops. Okay, got it? So here it's a simplified version. Actually, the int v I'm going to declare it as a local only for this for loop. The int v only serves with the for loop. So what actually the v stores? Okay, so it entirely depends on what is the length of values you are sending. Here I am sending 3 parameters. Now the length of this values is 3. Okay, so values of 0, values of 1 and values of 2. Okay, you see int of values. It just created an array at the background. Okay, you don't see that array now. but see the implementation. How exactly it was created. So it just created variable arguments is nothing but like an array. Okay. So without having any array implementation like boxes and everything, you are able to perform an array operation. Okay. So here, what happens in the first iteration of for loop? So first of all, the for loop is just checking out the values of 0 is available or not. Yes, it is available. So in the values of 0, what is the value of sending? The first argument. 0 means the first argument. 100. Now 100 is going to be summed with the res. Okay. So the 100 stores in the v. Values of 0 stores in the v. Okay. What v exactly having the value? 100. So res equal to 0 plus v at the first iteration. Okay. You have the res as 0. So 0 plus v means 0 plus 100. What would be the result? 100. Now comes to the second iteration. So values of 1, it just incremented the index position incremented to next position. Now values of 1. So what exactly we have in the values of 1? 200. So now v holds the 200. So already the result is having the 100. So 100 plus 200. What would be the result? Updated result? 300. Fine. It will go for the next iteration. Values of 2 it is. Okay, values of 2. I mean the 300. 300 is followed by the v. Okay, so again the v will be summed to the previous result. What is the previous result? 300. 300 plus 300, that is 600. So again the it will go for the next iteration, but the for each loop could not find the next index position. Okay, I mean the index position 3 and the parameter is 4. Okay, actually the index position starts from 0. Okay, total length can be identified like length minus 1. The last index position is length minus 1. Total length minus 1. If you have 3 parameters, what is the length? 3 minus 1, 2. That is the last index of an array. Yes. Praveen, you have texted from 5423. Okay, fine. Yes. Now I need not to worry about the number of parameters. I can have any number of parameters. Okay, without any worries with the method implementation. See how many parameters I can pass. I need not to change anything to the method implementation. I need not to change it. Method implementation. It will serve for any number of arguments, any number. But what happens if you don't if you pass like this? You'll be getting the value empty. Okay, even it serves for the 0 arguments also. The same method. Okay. Okay, let's see the result. Okay. So 48, 300 plus 4500, 4800 result. Yeah, understood this variable argument. Any issues with this? No issues.
No.
Yeah. Would you like to go for any another example about this variable arguments, or it is enough? If you'd like to go for some other method, we will go. No issue. Let's go with some other. Void multiply. I'm creating double type variable arguments. Values. Total res equal to 0.0. for then double equal to values. Okay, now just add the d to the res in every iteration. To the res equal to, not adding, it's multiplication, into d. At the last, you can just return the result. The result will be returned to this. There is some issue. Sorry, it's not equal to, it's equal. Okay. So this return value will be returned from this method. The result will be returned from this method. You need to catch it to a variable, or else you can directly go for this multiplication result. Now it's time to create the object. Okay. Need to store the object in a reference variable of this class. Okay. Variable args VA equal to new variable args, because I have two methods, add method, multiplication. I don't want to go for the new object to call the multiplication method again. So the VA dot add, VA dot add. Okay, this is out for multiplication. VA dot 1. Okay, 1 of 1. Okay, depends on you. So the length of the parameters is your wish when if you are going with a variable or result 0.0.
You should give double res equal to 1.0. Initialize it to 1.
What? I'm not getting
double res equal to 0.0. You have initialized in yeah, right there. Initialize it to 1. Multiplication with 0 is always 0.
Oh, yes, exactly. That's perfect. Wait, nice. Yes, it's a multiplication, right? Okay, so this is the multiplication. Thanks, Saurabh. Yes, guys. Any issues? Are you okay with this? Okay, fine. Now let's see the bean class. Let's go to bean class. Java bean. So exactly what we are doing with the bean classes means a bean class. So what is a bean? A normal bean. Use it for plantation. Okay, so one bean can get you will help. One bean will be helping to us to grow up many trees, right? So the bean actually is a reusable component over there. The same way here, the Java bean. Why it was named as bean means bean class actually having a setter and getter properties. Okay, the bean class having some setter methods and getter methods. So which is used for many purposes, many reasons are there. So just like in storage, bean class is just like a storage. It's not like a database, okay? Not like a database. Just a storage to store your object data temporarily. Okay. So while you are going with the execution, okay. When if you are going with a program, your program values may get modified sometimes. Okay. If you don't want to have like that, you can better store your bean properties, bean variables or values. So what are the values you'd like to preserve in a temporary storage? You can just move it to the bean. So the bean class will help you to store the values with that object, with the bean class object. Okay. So this is a reusable component. Or is the class. Okay. So a Java bean class having setter and getter methods. Set use it to set value. Okay. Using parameters. Getter is to get the value. Is to get the value which was already set by the setter. It was already set by the setter. Let me show this. Class class. Here I'm going to create public void set. Okay, public void set. You must have some parameters. Definitely should have some parameters. Then public. It's not an void, so you should have the proper return type. Okay. So I'm not sure what are the values you are going to return from this method, from the getter method. So get will return the value with the help of the return keyword. Return the value. Okay. So this value must be of the same return type. The return type and the value must be of same type. Got it? If you're trying to return an integer, make sure here an int keyword is there instead of void. Okay. So let's go with the program. Okay. So don't create main method with the bean class. Just normal class. Okay. So theoretically, the name of this setter and getter methods class is the bean class. Okay, which means that it will be like an reusable component. It's not just confined for one thing. So we can do many things with this bean class. Okay. Going forward, you'll understand everything. Okay, let me create setter method first. Before this, it's better to create let me create two variables. Student name, string, age. Yeah, I'm not going to initialize these values. And I would like to insert these values from the setter method of this bean class, student bean. Let me write the set. First set name. or else you can also set two variables, student name and age with single method. Okay. So first of all, let's go with the one parameter. So set name method for individual method. Set name, set ID, sorry, set age. Similarly, get name and get age. So let's go with the set name. So set name, what is the name? What type of it is? What type of data we are going to store? String type. So that's why we should have a string parameter over here. Name. Okay. Now assign this local variable name to the global variable st name. St name equal to name. Yes. Now, so public void set id int age. Okay, observe here. Have the local variable age and global variable age. So there is an ambiguity problem with this method now. How to avoid this? I need to assign the age, local variable age, to the global variable. Actually, this is the global variable. I would like to have it as a global variable. How can I access the global variable when it is the case of ambiguity? So this dot age. So this dot age means global variable age pair. Global variable age. Okay. So it's just calling the value which is having with the local variable age. Okay, both are separate. This dot age is different from age. So this dot age refers to the current class global member. Age just refers to the current method local member. Okay. The same way, let me say the getter method public string get id. Sorry, get name, not id. Get name. Now return what? Where you have stored the name in st name, right? Return public int get age. Simply return this return age. Okay. Now let me create a test class, student test class. Student class, the main method. Now here I would like to store multiple student details. Okay. So how can it be possible? Like I don't want to store the student details here. Okay. I would like to store the student details with this bean class, with the help of this bean class. How can I do that? Very simple. So first of all, let's create an object for the student. Student name must be equal to student name. Okay. Now insert student name. So by using the method set name. Similarly, insert the student ID by calling the method set ID. Okay. So how to call those methods? Those methods are available with the student bean class actually. But I have the student bean object here. Okay, within the student test, I have the object student bean. So sb dot set name of student name. There's a problem with the naming convention. It's not ideal. sb dot sb dot set age 30. Okay. So these methods is to store the status. Okay. So here the SB object stores the status of the student John, and his age is 30. Right? Now I can just send this SB object to another class also. Okay. I create it. Okay, student get class public void get details. Okay. Show details. Yeah. Okay. No problem. So let's have this method. Okay. So I'll be going to add parameter to this method. The parameter of this method is object of student test. Okay, student test is a parameter here. No, not student test, student being. Okay, student being. Okay, student being S3. Here from here I can just enter this value. Student name SB dot. How to get the name? Get by calling the get. This out. Student age SB dot age. Okay. Now I can just display the values by calling this method. Or simply you can do one thing. You can just call the methods from here. Not an issue. Call the getter methods from here. This is one method. Okay. So if you don't want to display from here on this method, okay. If you don't want to call the get methods, so just send the SB object to this class method. What is that? Show details. So what is the class name? Student get class. Let me create object. Student get class. SCC equal to student get class. Okay. So simply call SCC dot show details. Show details with the object SB. Already have the object student bin object. I'm sending the same object to this class. See, I'm not going to create a new object to send a parameter. So here in this class also, the show details is not going to be creating the new object for student bin. It's going to reuse the same object what I have already created from the student test class. Let's see, execute this. You'll be getting the same output. Okay, actually this response is from different class. And now here no need of going to have the main method. Class level from student get class. You receive an output. Okay. Here actually you are going to preserve the state of this object. Okay. You can just save this stuff. You can just preserve this state of the object very safely with the bin class. Fine. Understood? Any issues, guys? No. Rakesh. Fine. Okay. So I understand what is the need of this bean class. Don't worry, we'll have a typical example on this bean class when if we start the arrays concept. Okay. So here I'm going to store only single class object. Okay, single student object. We'd like to go for storing the multiple student objects. You should have an array of objects. Okay. So you have to create some array of objects over there. So we'll discuss the typical bean class. This is just a simple bean class. Okay? It's not that much complex. Okay. I'm sure that we are going to deal the typical bean class also when we start the concept of arrays. Okay. Definitely work a different example. Okay. After the arrays concept. Okay. Tomorrow we'll start that operators. So what are the operators in Java? Okay. So we'll go with all the operators, assignment operators, relation operators, bitwise, and logical operators, relation operators. Okay. So we'll go with the operators, and from day after tomorrow, I'll be starting that looping concepts like the if conditions, for loops. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss about operators. So day after tomorrow, conditional statements and flow controls. Okay. Iterative statements and conditional statements. We'll see on that day after tomorrow. So your sincere program, actually your dedicated program will start from day after tomorrow. Okay, your logical thinking, you have to put some logical effort on it with all the practice programs. Okay, that's all guys for today. Any issues you have?
Rakesh, can you send me the